Are you wondering how to turn a Matterport tour into a silky smooth video? Would you like to easily add a Google Earth flyover at the beginning of your video? Would you like to offer video as an add-on without shooting video? Stay tuned.
This episode of WGAN TV is sponsored by SimLab Stages. Are you leveraging Matterport for construction progress monitoring? With SimLab Stages powered by Matterport, you can complete projects faster, reduce rework, and cut down on site visits and travel expenses, all while enhancing communication and transparency. Seamlessly compare BIM to Matterport updates in a split-screen view throughout construction. Empower remote experts, make faster decisions, and optimize your workflow to win more business. Visit www.sim-stages.com.
Hi all, I'm Dan Smigrod, founder of the We Get Around Network Forum. Today is Wednesday, October 9th, 2024. You're watching WGAN TV Live at 5, a podcast for digital twin creators shaping the future of real estate today. We have an awesome show for you. How to create a video from a Matterport tour with 3D to video.com to offer as an easy add-on. Our subject matter expert is Tom Sparks, founder and CEO of Scan Your Space, a division of Sparks Media Group. Tom, thanks for being back on the show.
Thanks for having me. Your check's in the mail, and I appreciate that so fresh and so clean intro.
Thank you. Tom, before we jump into today's topic, please tell our viewers about Scan Your Space and Sparks Media Group.
Sure. So I started Sparks Media Group, I think 2018, 2017, to cater towards the residential real estate market. We provide photography, aerial photos and video, regular ground videography, 3D tours, floor plans, property websites, virtual staging, renderings, pretty much everything that anybody could need to market a property. Shortly after that, I found a need for doing the same in the kind of commercial space, hospitality, industrial, and so I started Scan Your Space to cater to that market.
And your coverage area?
We're expanding, so we're in California. We're covering pretty much all of California. Arizona, Nevada, New Mexico, Texas, Idaho, Utah, DC, Delaware, New Jersey, New York. Yeah.
Cool. And your two websites, scanyourspace.com, sparksmediagroup.com. Tom, you've been on the show a number of times. I've always looked to you as a subject matter expert because you have a number of photographers on your team. You're quite prolific. You're using Matterport Pro 3 cameras, Pro 2 cameras, use other scanning equipment. So you're out there banging away at servicing residential real estate, commercial real estate. So I turn to you to say, hey, we have a new member in the We Get Around Network Forum, 3D to video.com. They offer videos created from Matterport tours. So I sent you a couple codes, asked you to go, a couple of coupon codes, asked you to, at my expense, to go create some videos from your Matterport tours. Why don't we maybe begin by, if you could show us a couple of the videos that were created by 3D to video.com from your Matterport tours.
Sure. Would love to. Can you see my screen okay?
I can.
Okay. So they have, and I guess we'll go into it a little bit later when I actually create an order, but they have several different configurations that you can pick.
Well, let's take a look at the videos and then we'll talk about what some of the options are.
Yeah, so I'll start with this one. Now I'm going to turn the volume on for a little bit and then I'll mute it.
full screen, please?
So on this option, I chose music.
And do you recall how many different kinds of audio tracks that you had the option?
We'll look at them. I think there might have been like 40-ish, somewhere around there.
Okay.
That was interesting, trying to choose them.
Okay. I recall there were 60 plus different audio tracks to choose from.
Okay.
And so this is made from your Matterport tour.
And Dan, if you recognize this house, this is one that we've done several shows about.
Oh, that's great. Okay,
Same
cool.
house that we've covered a lot.
Okay, so that's one of the models that's available for sale with one of your builders.
No, this was just a house that an agent let me access for about 2 months to
Okay,
do.
all right. Well,
the one that I
that's
did.
cool. Oh, yeah.
Yeah.
I'm thinking, oh, you didn't need to go back to the house to shoot the video. We're talking about creating video from existing Matterport tours. Okay,
Yeah.
cool. All right. So I didn't see any logo, anything other than music there, and somewhat of a silky smooth video. They offer one with a Google Earth fly-in and
Yeah.
the logo. Could we take a look at maybe that option that you've created?
Sure. Now, Dan, this is the same house. If you want, or if we can, I'd like to show you one more.
Okay, before we go on there, just to talk a little bit about this one, if you go back to the beginning, did the music begin when your logo came up, and then you just happened to manually had the volume down, or
Correct.
is that correct?
Yeah.
Could you play it again for us, just the open with the music on? Okay, cool. So what we see here is, first you had provided 3D to video.com with the Sparks Media Group logo, and then they provided a Google Street View what would I say? Google
Earth flying, I guess is.
Yeah, Google Earth fly over video at the very beginning, and I presume that was based on the property address.
Yeah.
And was there anything that transitioned from the Google Earth flyover video to signal that it's this house, it's this property?
What do you mean by that? Is there anything to?
Was there an arrow or a highlighted color?
It just highlighted the house in a circle.
Yeah, if you could make that full screen so we could see that, that'd be great. Yeah, okay. So there is a highlight there to call your attention to what property it is.
Yeah.
Okay, great.
Um,
And you had a couple other examples you wanted to show us?
yeah,
That
I'd like
you
to show one more at least.
Okay.
And the reason is, and I'll explain it in a second here. Let's launch this. I found it, the reason I wanted to play a couple different houses is I found it interesting how they chose the path through the house that they chose.
Mhm.
Um, on the previous house, you didn't, the flyover was outside, right? Or the first shot was outside, and then you immediately went into like a family room that was in the back of the house. And I just think for, you know, tour purposes, it should be a little more fluid with how agents would show a house or how photographers would photograph a house.
Okay. Can you give me an example of perhaps on this house?
I think this one did pretty good. You're outside, you go in the living room, you got the kitchen, but then you go back outside in the back, and then you go in the
Mhm.
laundry room and then the bedroom. And to me, I would have done, if this is the backyard, I would have did this last, or
Last, yeah,
even first if it's the side of the house, for example, but not
yeah,
kind of in the middle. And
okay.
I didn't care for that too much.
Yeah, I think that's probably, good feedback for 3D to video.com is think about it more like you're outside and you've walked into the front door, and then perhaps you're showing probably a living room or dining room, foyer. Then you're probably moving towards the kitchen and then probably to some of the bedrooms. And then you may at that point walk outside again to see the backyard. Would that be the kind of flow that you would expect?
Yeah, exactly. It's always typical. Well, agents that order from me prefer the living spaces first, followed by the bedrooms, followed by the backyard last, and then yeah, of course the front yard first. But
Yeah,
here you got front yard, you got family room, kitchen, backyard, living room, which is in the front of the house, and then upstairs. So yeah, I just would have liked it a little more natural flowing.
yeah. Okay, I think that's good feedback.
Yeah.
The so we saw what were your options? Do you recall what your options were up front in terms of this video? We saw one that began with the logo. We saw the video began with the logo and then to a Google Earth flyover video and then into the property. What were some of the other options you could have picked?
And just refresh. You could have done
Could you go
address.
full screen for us, Tom?
Yeah, yeah. You could have chose address to include the address or not. You could have chose, if I remember correctly, to uh, upload a still photo of the front of the house.
Mhm.
Um,
All right, I'll tell you
yeah,
what, when we go through, because I'm going to ask you to place an actual order so that our viewers can see the workflow and we'll see what choices you have as you go through that.
sure.
If you could take it off of screen share, I think the examples that you have showed are the premium examples, and 3D to video.com also has a basic conversion. So I think I'd like to show that. I'll go ahead and share my screen.
Sure.
And let's see. Select this window. And I will share sound as well. And so I'm taking our viewers to the front page of 3D to video.com. That's the number 3, the letter D as in Dan, and then 2 spelled out TO video.com, 3D to video.com. And then there's a portfolio, and the portfolio includes more examples of premium and a couple of examples of basic. And I wanted to show basic because it's created from a Matterport highlight reel. So in your case, when you showed us the premium examples, someone obviously is making a decision about what the flow is, and you've given, I think, some valuable feedback there.
Yeah.
On the basic version, it follows, it's done completely from a Matterport highlight reel. Can you see my screen?
I can. Yep.
Excuse me, I think I actually have the audio off. You know, I look at the basic and I go, well, this is pretty, you know, pretty cool. It looks a little bit, I don't know what you call it. It's the way the transitions work, the way the movement works. It's not the prettiest from my perspective. But for $27, it's and get it overnight when you place an order Monday through Thursday, it's probably the deal of a century. So I think we probably have to put that in perspective to say, you know, what's your price point? And if you want the least expensive video from a Matterport tour, as long as you do a highlight reel, you can pay $27 for this and get it the next day when you place your order Monday through Thursday. They're actually closed over the weekends.
Yeah, can I ask you a quick question about
Sure.
what you're playing? Is it just the lag on the internet, or is it actually like panning in glitches like I'm seeing on your video?
Thank you for pointing that out, because it's smooth for me. There's
Okay,
no
okay.
herky jerky or jumps.
Okay.
So it's simply going through the Matterport highlight reel. If
Yeah.
you have the dollhouse view, you'll see the dollhouse view. If you have the floor plan view, you'll see the floor plan view. If your highlight reel is kind of like what you described, Tom, which is you're outside, you then go inside through the front door, you're then showing the living room, dining room, moving to the kitchen, moving to the bedrooms, then moving, you know, out to the back door, or going upstairs. Whatever order your highlight reel is in is exactly what you're getting from 3D2video.com. So this is one where you totally control the flow.
Oh, yeah.
And you get the same 16 by 9, 1080p, 60 frames per second, and all the choices that you have about how the video begins, which is either your drone video or your exterior photo, or they provide a Google Earth flyover video. You get all the same extras. You get the branded version and the non-branded version. You get the next day as long as you place the order Monday through Thursday. So it actually repeated. Let me take it off screen share. So it was on.
I'll tell you, and I hope the viewers don't throw virtual rocks at me, but tens of thousands of Matterport tours that I've done highlight reels maybe 3 times. I don't do a lot of them, and my clients don't request them a lot. There's the 3 that have, but so for me, it'd be nice if they could have a little smarter AI that's selecting the pathway through the house. Or
Yeah.
Yeah.
Well, on the $57 premium version, that's where somebody's making some choices. And, you know, frankly, I think 3D2video.com is super responsive to feedback. So, you know, my guess, they're watching the show just like everyone else and going, oh, that's what you expect. It's the metaphor of the agent walking the prospect through the house. And an agent is not going to go, let me take you to the backyard in the middle of the tour and then come back and then take you to the second floor. They're going to walk through the house and they're going to have a big reveal in terms of the backyard.
Not unless they're chasing a 3-year-old through the house.
Yeah. So Yeah, so again, I think it's helpful to understand that 3D to video.com offers two different services, premium conversion and basic conversion, premium at $57 and basic at $27. And you actually do get two videos in each case of one Matterport tour. You get one that's branded and one that's unbranded.
And you can select, for me, I didn't select the unbranded on a lot of them, I think. But yeah, you can select if you want an unbranded version.
Yeah, you can get them both. So,
Yeah.
you know, so if you want to give it to the real estate agent, say, hey, here's the one for MLS, and then
Yeah.
here's the one for all your marketing purposes that you're doing.
Yep.
How about if I could have you actually place an order so we could just see the workflow, and going through the workflow, that will enable us to see what choices there are in terms of
Sure.
adding on logos, etc.
Yeah. Are you able to see the screen okay?
Yes, if you could just, as you go through things, make full screen when you can.
Yeah, it's full screen now, hopefully.
Yeah, great.
So here's the main page. You know, if I can give some commentary as I'm doing this, I would like to see maybe a login option, where we would have our past orders, or if there's an issue, we can request an update to an order.
Okay,
But I don't see any of that on here. It's just kind of you
okay.
place the order. But
Yeah, you know, I would say, you know, 3D to video.com is probably focused on how can they deliver the Matterport to video conversion at the least amount of money. Again, premium conversion $57 US, basic conversion $27 US. But I imagine they are probably thinking about, okay, what other things would our clients like? And I think as you described, let me see all my past orders and perhaps opportunity to modify a video.
yeah, and this is pretty cool because I don't see a lot of websites that have this, you know, what's next, suggest a new service you'd like to see. I like the fact that they put that right there so that if you do have a request, you can at least let them know.
Okay, so
So
you're
yeah,
at 3D to video.com. You clicked on get started. You're now on,
yeah,
yeah, you hit the get started button. You're get started now to place an order, Matterport conversion. Okay,
so they have a free option, basic conversion for free. They have
that's the first one. You get
yeah,
your first order free for
yep,
basic, and that's everything that's in basic.
yep.
And again, the only thing that's different between the premium conversion and the basic version must have a highlight reel, and and then you get everything else that we're going to see. And then the premium conversion is you kind of get that silky smooth transitions, and someone has determined the path for you of your tour. I'd also point out that premium conversion is also necessary if it's not residential real estate. So if you're doing commercial office building or something else, that's only offered on premium conversion.
Yeah, so which one do you want me to do?
Let's go ahead and place a premium order.
All right, so we'll do get started.
In fact, let's just go back just for a second because the print's a little bit small. Just let me see if I can point out for our viewers on the premium conversion at $57. You get two videos, one that's branded and one that's unbranded for MLS. You get silky smooth output, distortion free output, and I don't know, what would you call Matterport jump? Is that just a transition from shot to shot?
I think it is.
Yeah, okay. 1 day turnaround or faster, provided that you order Monday through Thursday. They're closed on the weekends. The format 16 by 9, 1080p, 60 frames per second. And then here's where you get some features like if you want to add your logo and you want to have it animated, they'll do that. If you want to add a title, such as the street address, they can animate the title, and then there's licensed music to choose from. We'll see how many when you get there. And then there's one element before the Matterport video. So you have your choice of providing your own drone video, your own exterior photo, or you can have 3D2video.com provide a Google Earth flyover video intro, provided that you provide the address for the property.
Yep.
And I'll ask, when you place the order, just simply take it off screen share when you're putting in your credit card information.
My wife would appreciate that. All right, so to get started, is your Matterport link for a real estate listing? Premium conversion is designed exclusively for the real estate industry. Not in real estate, choose basic. So I'm going to assume kind of what you said, maybe basic is for industrial or commercial, or is that how you understand this?
Oh, I frankly, I think I had said it backwards. So the premium conversion, forgive me, earlier I said it backwards. The premium version is exclusively for real estate. And I want to actually say residential real estate. So if you're doing something else, then you would need to be on a basic conversion using a highlight reel.
Yep. So I just clicked yes here, and it took me next automatically. I'm gonna put my email address in.
You want to place an order with Sparks Media Group, you can go to order@sparksmediagroup.com.
Correct. And we'll place our Matterport link that we want to use. Hit next. Do we want a logo at the beginning? I'm going to choose no on this one.
Oh, well, please put your logo in.
Okay.
I'd like to see that.
Give me a minute to find the logo that I want to use. Right here. Do this one. Looks good. Hit next. Do you have a preference on how the logo shows up?
Well, let's just take a look at them for a moment. So they're obviously not going to put Sotheby's International Realty in your video. They're showing 3D2video.com is showing you what kind of animation can be applied to your logo.
Yeah, so we got fade in and fade out. We got grow in and fade out. We got shrink in and fade out, and we got move and scale in and fade out. I think the previous one I did was a fade in, fade out. So maybe we should try shrink in and fade out.
Okay.
Let's do that.
And there was a button for none if you didn't want to have your logo animated, you just wanted your logo static.
Correct.
Okay.
Do you want to include an element before the Matterport video? Drone photo, exterior, or Google Earth flyover video?
So let's do the Google Earth flyover.
This episode of WGAN TV is sponsored by SimLab Stages. Are you leveraging Matterport for construction progress monitoring? With SimLab Stages powered by Matterport, you can complete projects faster, reduce rework, and cut down on site visits and travel expenses, all while enhancing communication and transparency. Seamlessly compare BIM to Matterport updates in a split-screen view throughout construction. Empower remote experts, make faster decisions, and optimize your workflow to win more business. Visit www.sim-stages.com.
Okay, and let me grab the address.
Can you, okay, great.
And then there's different options on the flyover. So we have a fly to and orbit. You want me to hit play on these and look
Yeah,
at them?
I'd love to see what each of the options are.
So this is a fly to an orbit. So it kind of zoomed in and out, circling the property.
Okay,
This is a spiral. Where it kind of corkscrews down into the property. This is lovely for my motion sickness.
okay,
This is an orbit, which is just a circle around the property.
okay.
And then we have the zoom 2.
Yeah. How about if you select Zoom 2, and what I'm going to ask is if you can send me a link to the video once you get it back tomorrow, and or post it in the We Get Around Network forum to the
Sure.
discussion. Do you
wanna
want an
do
animated?
Yeah, might as well.
Okay. Do you want an animated title? Yes. And
So there's
okay,
kind of a fade in.
how many options do you have? I can see 4, so that there
10 total.
10 total. So let's just take a look at them and we'll go slowly through them.
Oh, let me start at the beginning.
Okay. Okay.
I think they call this San Francisco earthquake. Title 7.
Okay. Let's go back to the beginning. And here's where I'm confused. So is it if you select Title 1, is the presumption that you've already given the text, or will it then ask you?
It asked us 2 screens ago, or yeah, 2 screens ago.
Yeah, so I think I would make a suggestion here for 3D to video.com is when I'm using Google Earth, I would prefer that the title perhaps be something other than the property address. I'd at least like to have that option. Additionally, I noticed when you put in the address, Tom, you didn't put a comma after the street.
Yeah.
And then personally, that would just I'm kind of obsessed, but it would bother me to see that address show up without a comma on the video. And it may be that you needed to leave the comma out to recognize the address in order to locate that property. So I would still like to have an option of animating a title if I want it to be different than what the property address is that was needed to find the Google map.
Yeah, a lot of
Google
websites
Earth
now.
flyover video, excuse me.
Yeah. Sorry, and I didn't mean to cut you off. A lot of websites now, when you start typing in your address, it'll auto-populate the entire address.
Yes.
And I don't know what kind of API or what's behind that, but it'd be nice if maybe they have that so that it is all standard
Yeah.
address conventions.
It's an interesting question whether 3D to video.com is simply looking it up based on what was typed in, and if they can't find it,
Yeah.
send you an email and say, hey, could you give us some clarification on that address?
Yeah.
I don't know the answer to that. Let's pick title one.
Okay. Actually, do you mind if I choose another one? I picked title
That's
one on the first
fine.
video. Okay.
It's fine.
Let's try this one. I like kind of these brackets. Let's see what this one does for
Okay.
it. Oh, and here we have another option to put the address in. So maybe that first address was
For the
strictly
map,
Google,
for the
Earth.
Google, yeah.
Yeah.
Ah, terrific. So let's see, is the title in the right place? So it's an interesting question, just this, before you go off to, just stay here
Sure.
for a second. So the interesting thing is, Tom, it asked for the logo and then it asked for, how would you like us to apply? Do you want us to animate it or not? In this case, it's doing it backwards for me. It's now saying, here's the effect. What's the title? I
Yeah.
think I would have asked for the title first and then asked, what kind of effect would you like us to apply to the title?
Should we put something like, because I put this at the beginning of my videos. I usually use the agent's name, but
Yeah, yeah. Interesting. Do you get that much text? Okay, because it says title and property address. So I guess that would work.
yeah.
Sparks Media Group presents, and okay. So are you cool with that?
Sure.
Okay.
You like it, I love it.
Yeah. Let's order some licensed music.
Now here's where I had an issue. I think I could play one, but if I remember correctly, when I was trying to preview what the other songs were, I wasn't
Yeah.
able to. So if you don't mind, I'll try to play one and see
Yeah.
what we have. Okay. So there's one. Now, if I click 5, it assumes that I'm selecting 5. So then I go back
Yeah.
and it has 1 again, and I can't hear what 5 is. So that's a big issue.
Okay, so I know it's early in development, so 3D
Yeah.
to video.com I'm sure appreciates this feedback. There's not any way that you can select to preview the music? Try the back button. Just curious to see what would happen. There's a back button. Oh, it was there. There it is. Yeah, that's not a great workflow. Now you'll be able to preview the music again. So select select one of the different tracks.
So 60 is selected now. If I choose 32, it's just gonna.
No, that's interesting.
Yeah. And if I scroll down, there's only to move forward a page. There's, it doesn't. If I choose 32, it should pop up 32 here.
Yes. I wonder if that's related to if you are using Chrome.
I'm using Chrome.
Yeah, I wonder if it's a browser thing. Is there anything else we should try while we're here, though, just to see if we can?
No.
Why don't we do this? Is click on watch it on YouTube. Let's see what happens. Okay, it opened a new window. Okay, and then
I can preview them here.
and then why don't you click on the YouTube? There we go. So there is a workaround. It opened up a new window and you can now go look at them, but that it probably needs a little different workflow for us. Yeah, can you hover over one of them and then it automatically, you can hear it?
No, I just have to click it.
Yeah.
These are just YouTube videos.
Yeah.
Like on a playlist.
Okay. I think the other suggestion I would make would be to like try to describe what those sounds are, just to make it, I'd still keep the number, but I would still put why don't you just
A
play
name, a
one?
title name or something.
Yeah, go back and let's play one. We'll give them an idea. Uh, 55, Tyson. Nice beat and you can dance to it. Something to just help you remember. Oh yeah, I remember that was the one I like, because I'll have an easier time remembering nice beat and you can dance to it, or opens with beats and then crescendos or something.
Yes.
Something to just help me remember when I'm picking it out. Okay, so
Yeah, 64 do. Oh, I was going to say 64 do the Matterport dance.
yeah, yeah. Hey, everyone, if you haven't heard the Do the Matterport dance yet, definitely either Google it or go into YouTube and search for Do the Matterport dance. And there are some really hip beats.
Yeah, yeah.
So
here's not to sidetrack that, but I've selected the one that we just played, 55.
yes.
It's still showing 1 here. So now I'm curious to see if when it gets processed, is it going to use 1 or is it going to use 55?
Okay. Yep. Yep.
So let's hit next.
Need some love.
And here it's going to ask for my information.
Okay. Let's not put your credit card in there yet.
Yeah.
So we literally can't tell whether it selected 1, which was being displayed, or 55, which is the one that you wanted.
Yeah.
Okay. Okay. 3D to video.com team, please post in the We Get Around network forum as soon as you've addressed that particular concern, because that is a concern. Tom, if you just for a second go to your 3rd tab. Yeah. So why don't you just text me that YouTube link if you don't mind?
Okay.
Just copy, paste, text it. And I'm going to go set up just a tiny URL, and we'll call it wgan.info/music tracks, all as one word. And then it's right after the show, I'll set up that short link so that if you want to go right to this page, which is actually an unlisted page, that we can get you to this page so that you could preview all the music so that you'll know which number to click on until that feature gets fixed. Does that make sense?
Yeah.
Okay. And Tom, can you just copy that URL and send it to me?
I did. Yep. I messed up.
Yeah. Okay. I got my phone on airplane mode, so I wouldn't see it. Okay, great. All right. So now let's take it off screen share. Let you go ahead and put your credit card info in.
Righty.
And when you place an order for video, you can go to 3dtovideo.com. Again, you can also go to the 3dtovideo.com YouTube channel, which is 3D to video, but all the music is unlisted, so you can't see it unless you use that link that I will set up immediately after the show, wgan.info/music tracks. And just tell me when you're done putting your credit card and your order has been placed.
Yep. So I put my card information in, and next it's asking for my name and address.
Okay. So we'll keep it off of screen share until we're done with your placing that piece of the order.
All right. So that's done. And here it's asking, do you need a no branded version to include in the MLS?
Yeah, so let's say yes. And again, for 3dtovideo.com, right here, you got to put in there's no extra charge for that. And I think that's why you probably didn't place an order.
Well, and I would also put that before the pay part, right? Like,
yeah.
why ask
Yeah.
more questions about the order afterwards?
Yeah,
Um,
I'm not sure why somebody would not want both versions, but okay. But I think it needs to be super clear that you actually get both versions and there's no cost. So maybe just on that previous screen, it should have had a note that said, hey, oh, there's no extra charge for getting a non-branded version.
yeah.
Okay, and so any notes here? Maybe the notes might have been to say what the flow of your tour is. Go from the outside to enter the front door, show the living room, kitchen, show the bedrooms, go to the second level, come down the stairs, and then go outside. Or what you and I would say is, in shorthand, is the real estate agent's tour.
I think this was a condo without a front and a backyard.
Yeah, okay,
Let's see.
okay. And then do you grant permission to use your project in our portfolio? Let's say yes, we'll give them that. Well, I'm sorry, it's your video. I shouldn't say that.
Yeah.
Yeah, okay.
Hit submit.
Okay,
Thank you,
great.
and go
Great.
home.
If you
And
could take
then-
it off of screen share, that would be great.
Yeah. And then
Thanks, Tom.
after
Uh,
oh, sorry, I was going to say after the order's placed, you do get an email,
Yeah,
and I just got it literally right away, and it says, just a quick note to confirm that we have received the Matterport video conversion order form. Thank you. Best regards, Valentine.
yeah, Valentine.
Yeah.
Yep, okay. So, so let's talk a little bit about uh, your overall impressions. Now, granted, you just paid for that. I'm going to go ahead and reimburse you. So you ordering samples has been free. That
Yeah.
said, if you had to pay $57 for the premium or $27 for the basic, do you think you'll continue or no?
I would like the flow of the house to be solidified first.
Yes.
And that could even be something, there's other vendors that offer services, and you can set up your own preferences. So maybe
Yeah.
preference to do it this way or preference to do
Yeah.
it.
Okay.
So I would like that to be set first, because I wouldn't want to pay that money and then have it be not to my satisfaction.
Okay.
I would use it though. Yeah, I would use it.
Okay. How would you use the Matterport to video created by 3D2video.com, branded, unbranded, as a Matterport service provider, as a real estate photographer?
Well, I'd offer it as an add-on service to agents, and maybe a more affordable option than doing a social media video or a video walkthrough or a 3D tour. This could be maybe on the more affordable side of that.
Are you presently offering video?
Yeah.
And give me help me understand the scale and scope of the kind of video that you presently offer.
So we do aerial video, we do ground video, actual video walkthroughs with the camera, and we shoot it horizontally. We do FPV fly-through videos. We do agent introduction videos. And we also offer vertical.
Talk to me about listing videos. So what does that look like? What is a listing video presently for either Sparks Media Group or Scan Your Space?
Yeah, so we'll come through the house with our camera on a gimbal, and we'll video the house and edit it together, and we include some details about the listing. So we'll have the agent information. We have the number of bedrooms, number of bathrooms, the square footage, the lot size. We have all the agent contact information at the end of the video. for the branded version, and then we have an unbranded version that we offer that doesn't have that. We do the social media vertical videos in a very similar format where we'll come through and we're just shooting it vertically, and also have that same information on there.
On your horizontal videos, how are you charging for those?
We charge by the square footage, and I want to say, I don't have the pricing in front of me, but I think it's right around $600 for a video walkthrough. And then if you want the agent to speak on camera, that's an additional charge. We do have a more affordable option, what we call a virtual tour video. And so what that is we take the photos and we put it in a slideshow format with music, and we use Ken Burns transitions. And that, you know, I would say would be a competitor to this, in the sense of,
Okay, what's your price point on that?
75, 60, 75, somewhere right around there.
Okay, so that's taking your still pictures and uploading them in the order that perhaps you shot, and then applying Ken Burns, and then do you add any text or anything else to it?
Yeah, the same property information, text, agent contact information.
Okay.
The reason I would probably offer this over that is because you're getting that 360 pan that you can't do with the still photos. So that I would think would be advantageous.
Okay.
The downside is that it's using Matterport's image quality, which I don't care for these days compared to, you know, traditional HDR photography that we offer.
Okay, so I'm going to guess that the person who presently pays you $600 probably has a I want the best versus good enough. So, and I'm guessing that the people that want correct me if I'm wrong, but the people that want the best may be 20% or less of your customers for residential real estate.
Yeah.
And the people who might want it's good enough maybe are 80% of your customers.
Yeah.
Meaning if you have something at a price point or that's correct me again if I'm wrong, but I'm going to say at 2 or 3 times what you're paying for 3D to video.com to create the video, you're probably at a good enough price point with a good enough solution. Fair, right. Unfair, thoughts?
No, that's fair. You know, I find it interesting why agents order what they order. There sometimes doesn't seem to be any rhyme or reason. You could have a $5 million house and the agent wants to use their cell phone to do the photos and the video.
Okay.
You could have a $300,000 house and the agent is ordering my most expensive package ever.
Yeah.
So, and you know,
let me ask the question, Tom, let me ask the question a little bit differently. Yeah. So, 3D to video.com looks like it's a super easy, super fast way with no effort, as long as you shot a Matterport tour, to get a video. How does that compare in terms of your Ken Burns effect videos from still pictures? How much hands-on time is that?
Oh, well, I don't know what they're doing behind the scenes, but for us to do a virtual tour video, my editor is, you know, actually using Premiere Pro or DaVinci Resolve or Final Cut Pro to actually edit the video together, the photos together into a video, and he's doing some manual work. So this is going to be quicker, probably cheaper than what we offer in that regard.
Cheaper meaning less than what you're presently paying your video editor to do the Ken Burns effect on still images.
Correct. Yeah. Yep. Okay.
So I think what I'm hearing is 3D to video.com is either about the same or probably less than what you're presently paying for a slideshow to be turned into a video. And you seem to like that better, except you don't really like the quality of the Matterport imagery. But it looks like it may still be something that you can offer to an agent at an affordable price, presumably the same or less than what you're presently charging for your slideshow video.
Yeah. Yep.
And it may be perceived as better than because of that 360 view of the space.
Yeah. Yeah.
So how would you go about testing or rolling this out to some or all of your clients as an additional add-on at a price point for those that are looking for good enough?
Yeah, so thanks to you, you sent me enough coupon codes that I have a few left over. So I think the next Matterport tour, the next few tours that I get for residential real estate, I'll probably just throw those in for free and do what I always do and say, hey, let me know the feedback on what you think about this and if you would consider paying for it. And then I can also upload some of these that I currently have to my channel and send that out in an email blast to my current agents and say, hey, take a look at this. Here's the price point. What do you think about it? And, get that kind of feedback. That's typically how I roll new products out
Okay.
to clients.
So I think I'm hearing two ways that you may test and learn on this. First is you have some coupon codes for me for no charge premium conversion for 3D to video.com. I'll just parenthetically say for WGAN standard members, you get a free coupon code that's good for ordering a premium conversion that includes a branded and non-branded video. So if you wanted to hit me up for a coupon code, you can. You just need to be a WGAN standard member to get that coupon code at no charge. Okay, so let's go back in terms of how you roll this out to potential clients or existing clients. I think I've heard two things. One is you have some additional coupon codes. You're going to order some premium videos perhaps in the next project or 3 or 5 of upcoming projects you're working on, and just deliver the 3D to video.com premium video to the client and say, hey, this is no charge to you. I'm throwing it in on your job. Thank you for your business. Oh, by the way, if you would like this video done on future listings, I charge X for that.
Yep.
Second is you now will have a portfolio of, I think, about 10 of these videos that you will have created from your Matterport tours. I could imagine you're going to populate a web page on your website and then use that link to send out to existing clients and say, hey, we now offer a new service, Matterport videos created from your Matterport tour. That's an add-on of X number of dollars. Let us know going forward if you'd like us to add that.
Yeah. And
is there is there a package that you may just automatically put this in as another way to get your high-end package sold?
I have 3 packages. I have a silver, gold, and a platinum package. And those are typically what most of my agents are ordering, or a combination of all our card
Does your
items.
platinum package include your $600 video?
No. And how I determine what's in that platinum package is once a year I go through and I look at my previous year's orders and what the combination of items are, and then I'll throw those in a package. So my platinum package right now is photos, an iGuide 3D tour, property website, and a custom domain name.
Okay.
Yeah, but I reevaluate once a year and
okay.
change it up a little bit.
So for our viewers that are doing Matterport, it may make sense to say, oh, it only cost you $57. It may have a perceived value of $149 or a perceived
Yeah.
value of $99 or a perceived value of $129. So you may choose to add that into a premium tier package and offer it as an add-on at X price.
And if I was to offer this in a package, I would probably do photos, a Matterport tour, this video conversion, and maybe even consider offering aerial video, since one of the options is that I could upload an aerial video to it. So if I was to build a package around the service, yeah, I would probably do that. Photos, the video
All right.
and 3D tour, and possibly
Cool.
drone video.
Tom, before we say bye, was there anything else on how you might offer this as an add-on or bundle? It sounds like we've covered, I think, every option for.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I think we pretty much got it all.
Yeah. Well, Tom, I appreciate you taking the time to take 3D to video.com for a spin. I imagine 3D to video.com probably also appreciates the feedback that you've had during today's show. And my guess is they'll just jump on some of these things and get them taken care of.
Yeah, I will say that they're really responsive. I've exchanged a couple emails with them as I, you were on the CC, and a super quick response, which I always appreciate. Great customer service and responsive customer service, and the product is a good start. Yeah.
Cool. So your individual websites are scanyourspace.com, sparksmediagroup.com. You have an awesome YouTube channel, Sparks Media Group, at Sparks Media Group. And then for 3D to video.com, you can just simply go to their website, place your order, and you can also go to their YouTube channel at 3D to video. And we're going to add an extra link after I get off the show today. I'm going to add a link, wgan.info/music tracks, so that you can go listen to all 60 plus music tracks. So while you're in the ordering queue, you can just simply pick which one you want. Good?
Yep.
Tom, thanks for being on the show today.
Thanks for having me. I appreciate it.
We've been visiting with Tom Sparks. Just looking at your links, just make sure that we did that.
Oh, yeah.
So we've been visiting with Tom Sparks, founder and CEO of Scan Your Space, a division of Sparks Media Group. For Tom, I'm Dan Smigrod, founder of the We Get Around Network Forum, and you've been watching WGAN TV live at 5.
This episode of WGAN TV is sponsored by SimLab Stages. Are you leveraging Matterport for construction progress monitoring? With SimLab Stages powered by Matterport, you can complete projects faster, reduce rework, and cut down on site visits and travel expenses, all while enhancing communication and transparency. Seamlessly compare BIM to Matterport updates in a split-screen view throughout construction. Empower remote experts, make faster decisions, and optimize your workflow to win more business. Visit www.sim-stages.com.